You are listening to the E2C Network, where the Auburn family speaks.
War Eagle Auburn fans, and welcome to Tiger Tracks, your source for Auburn track and field and cross-country news and discussion. I'm your host, Jessica, and I'm here with my husband, Kyle, to start our track and field season of 2022.
Well, technically, it's already started.
Really start our track and field season.
I'm just trying to remind people that, track and field technically began with, was it called the Boston Invitational? Is that what it was?
Yes, we had one runner there. So this is the first time our whole team has been at a meet.
The first time the team. Yes, okay. Now I'm on board with you. Now that's correct. Just want to make sure that we're starting off on the right foot.
You know, Kyle, Mr. Type A, we can never be wrong about anything.
No. You're Type A as well. That's the problem here is we're both Type A and both wanting to be right about the exact same thing we're right about.
My show, my rules, right?
It took her a minute to eat that one.
Here we are. We're here to discuss the Commodore Challenge, which happened January 14th and 15th, and it was in Vanderbilt. So we've been here before. Auburn has.
I feel like we've been here at least once or twice the time we've been doing this.
So it's nice to be back.
There's not as many options, I feel like, of places to go in indoor track and field. Like, I feel like we've been...
Definitely not. There's not a lot of indoor tracks out there that are good.
What do you think it's going to take for Auburn to build an indoor facility?
Well, they will not.
Why not?
The land, the money, our return on investment for track and field isn't where it should be right now to have an indoor facility. However, and their outdoor facility is really nice.
Right.
So it just wouldn't behoove them at this point to build the whole indoor facility when it's only used for like 2 months out of the year.
So quick question here, just thinking through this. Oregon and Nike, they're the same thing essentially because they're so connected. Do they have an indoor and an outdoor because they're such a big track and field school?
I have no idea.
I don't know that either, but I don't.
Then why would you ask?
Well, I just don't know. You know things sometimes.
Why would we even be discussing Oregon?
Because this is about track and field and it's relevant to the season and all that stuff. My point in saying that is, I don't wonder how many teams actually have
both.
If that's actually reality. Like, can you build a facility that does both?
I'm going to go with Vanderbilt. No.
I know there's different.
It's two separate things.
I know, but I didn't know if it was possible to make it in a way where you.
No, it's not like Legos. It's not like convertible.
It's not like Legos.
Babe, my God.
Are Legos convertible? You can't really. Once you set them, they're kind of so.
They're not super glued. You undo the Lego.
So it's not like you can my point was where you could almost interchange the tracks out and stuff like that. It's like they do for basketball and volleyball and things like that and gymnastics.
Somebody come pick up Kyle. I will give you my address.
What's wrong with that? I think that's a great idea.
It's horrible.
Okay, fine.
Why don't you tell us about some of the meet highlights? Let's get into the good stuff.
Yes, the good. Well, I think it's all good for
not you discussing weird things.
She wants me to move on to the actual events and things that happen. So what we cover here in these usual early parts is people who placed really high, got PRs and things like that. So we'll run through real quick right here.
And then we'll get into all
Everybody
of the results.
Else. Yep. All right, let's start off with Christopher Grant and Dante Brown and Jason Reese, actually. All three names that we are very familiar with in track and field for Auburn over the last couple of seasons. They finished 1, 2, and 3, respectively. Christopher Grant, Dante Brown, Jason Reese in the 60-meter dash prelims and finals. And Jason Reese, on top of that, got Jessica's favorite thing, a 6.78 PR for him. That's awesome.
Well, his PR was 6.78.
Yes, that's what I'm sorry that I said that backwards.
Well, I just didn't want it to seem like he cut 6 seconds off of his PR from the 60-meter dash.
I understand how this is.
He would have had to walk.
But yes, that's a great accomplishment right there already. I mean, 1, 2, 3. And I remember seeing this come through on social media, and I was like, dang. I mean, I don't know anything about the teams that were there, so I don't know what the competition level is. But what I've seen happen a lot of times is the competition level goes up as the season progresses.
Correct. This was a smaller meet.
Okay.
But it's also a great confidence booster.
Exactly.
And,
great way to start for them.
So this is why placement doesn't really matter to me as much as it does Kyle. But a PR stands regardless of how many people are out there with you.
Exactly. So think of it this way. This is the way I always try to phrase it to people when I tell them that we do this track and field show. I'm the layman. I'm the guy who's looking for the surface level stuff, the gold, silvers. I'm just
Should
getting
be lame, man. Ha ha ha.
the gold, silvers, bronzes, things like that. Championships, how far you placed. You're looking for the deeper level stuff. That's why you're a track and field person. The PRs and things
Well,
why.
I'm just saying.
The trends.
Those are the things that matter.
They do matter.
It's like, are you going to be the valedictorian of your homeschool class? Well, yeah, because there's one kid.
I feel like that's a shot at me. I wasn't
Why?
homeschooled.
You weren't
Oh, that's right. I
homeschooled.
wasn't homeschooled. I was. Just
You forgot? You went to school?
I was in such a small private school. It felt like homeschool.
But I'm just saying. So like if you're in a graduating class of 3,
Yeah.
and you're the valedictorian, is it the same as being a valedictorian in a class of 300? Not necessarily, but if you have a 4.0 in both a large school and a small school, that 4.0 translates regardless. That is the PR.
What a trend. Oh, but we've just gone off on several tangents here already.
Well, that's what you do to me.
That's what so bring out the best in you.
Continue
All
with the
I get to
highlights.
talk about this highlight because it's got my boys in it. Kyle Brown and Kyle Moisen placed first and second in the weight throw. Kyle Moisen also got a PR with his throw of 18.83 meters. Rocking. Look at my boys right here.
I know the Kyles.
Not just the Kyles, but the men finishing 1, 2, 3, taking the podium their entire way, and then 1 and 2 in the weight throw. I'm loving this.
I know. It's been pretty exciting.
Yeah.
So we also had James Corson placing first in pole vault.
Yep.
Presley Weems placing first in the 1,000 meter. And she got a PR with a time of 2 minutes, 46.03 seconds.
What makes me feel is seeing a lot of these long time names that we've been talking about doing so well early on.
So speaking of, let's do a complete reversal.
Exactly.
Because we had Quentin Wynn in his collegiate debut, place first in the men's shot put.
So I would take it that means he's a freshman, collegiate debut. I'm just assuming, unless he went to school first and then tried out for track and field. But regardless, this is his first time out there in college in Wynn's first, just to start off. I like seeing this, though, because we got a new name to kind of pay attention, because Kyle Brown and Kyle Moisen have been here for a while. Who knows how much longer they have. So this is the new wave of Auburn men throwers.
There you go.
Next up, we had Ryan Kinnain, who placed first in the men's 3,000 meters with a PR of 8 minutes, 16.65 seconds. He was followed up by Tommy McDonough right behind him in second, also with a PR of 8 minutes, 16.88 seconds. Very good for two of them. Nia Benton Andrews is our last big update that we have, and then we'll get into everybody else. Placed third in the 60-meter hurdles overall. So, just first, second, and thirds across the board for the men. Obviously, the men are pretty prominent in this list, but we got a few ladies bringing it up, not the rear, I was going to say, but in the list as well.
There you go. I knew you would be pleased with these highlights.
Hey, listen, you bring me gold, I'm going to start singing it. Silver and gold. I know it's not Christmas, but I'm going to start singing it.
It's also not a singing podcast, and nobody wants to hear your voice.
Maybe a few people do.
Okay. Let's move on to all of the results. How about that?
Do it.
Would you like me to start?
Yes, you start off the boys.
All right. So we had the men's 60-meter dash, as we said before. Christopher Grant, Dante Brown, and Jason Reese placed 1, 2, and 3 in both the prelims and the finals. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to talk about their finals time. Christopher ran 6.68 seconds, Dante 6.69 seconds, and Jason ran 6.78 seconds. So all right there together.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, there's only 8 spots on the track typically, right? Or is
Correct.
it a few more than that? It's 8 spots, so 8 competitors. 1, 2, and 3 is what they finished in.
Correct. I'm proud of you.
Well, I'm filling in the gaps here.
That's why the finals are always 8 individuals.
Yes. Just filling in the gaps. And remember, I'm the layman of the podcast. I'm filling it out for the people who aren't necessarily well versed in track and field. Setting the foundation for them. You give them the meat and potatoes. I
like it. You're the vegetables.
Set the table. You provide the food.
Oh, okay.
That's how we do it.
I like it. So for the men's 300-meter dash, which is a very interesting length of a race, we had Caden Seal, a senior, placed 12th out of 15 athletes in 37.38 seconds.
Yep. All right, men's 1,000 meter. We got Cooper Atkins, a freshman. We got to know him in cross country. Yeah,
yep.
I knew it was we've seen this name before, but he's a freshman. So where have I heard him before? Cross country. He finishes 7th out of 16 runners in the 1,000 meter with a time of 2 minutes 28.7 seconds.
Another really odd distance.
Why?
I know we've discussed it before in indoor track.
Well, just for future.
Don't ask me why, because I don't know why.
Okay. But I'm just interested why you find that as a weird distance, though?
So it's not a distance that we run in outdoor.
Okay.
And typically outdoor track is kind of the standard for track and field.
Right.
When you think like the Olympics and, the World Games and everything like that is all outdoor track that we do.
Yeah.
The 1,000 is not there.
Do you think it has to do with what the facility can provide?
No, a 200-meter track, you're just running it 5 times if you're doing 1,000.
Okay. I'm trying to find a reason
There's
for this.
a reason. We just don't know it, and I'm not super excited to Google
I have
it.
a feeling some people who listen to this podcast might be able to help us out with that.
Well, maybe they can give us a little
request out there. If anybody knows, you can actually fill us in on why those distances are the way they are. Hey, Auburn fans, I want to take a quick timeout from this episode to bring your attention to something very special. Here at the E2C Network, we pride ourselves on bringing you the best content for Auburn fans out there. And best of all, it's free to you. But just because it's free doesn't mean there aren't costs, especially when you have a library of hundreds of podcasts, videos, blogs, and more. Many of you have reached out and asked how you can support this network in the past. Well, now I have your answer. It's called the E2C Network Booster Club over at patreon.com/E2C Network. There you'll find a membership monthly reward system where you can sign up for as little as $1 and get different perks at different tiers. Some of those perks include things such as apparel, eligibility to join us on future podcasts, recognition as an E2C Network booster, exclusive communications, and bonus content that is available nowhere else. If you love this network and want to help us keep producing podcasts like this one, please head on over to patreon.com/E2C Network to join the E2C Network Booster Club. You can also get there by going to our website, e2cnetwork.com/support. Whether you decide to join or not, we are still so appreciative that you would support us by just listening and being here, because each and every one of you is part of our E2C Network family. Well, that's it. Timeout's over. Let's get back into the episode. All right, let's talk about the men's 3,000 meter triple, what we just talked about. We've already mentioned it. Ryan Kinnain, who finished first overall. He's a sophomore in this 3,000 meter with a time of 8 minutes, 16.6 seconds. But let's talk about who was behind him. Tommy McDonough, who is second overall, that 8 minutes, 16.9 second run. Then Carson Beddix, the sophomore as well. Just the sophomores together.
I know,
all three of them.
it.
7th out of 20 with a time of 8 minutes, 23.1 seconds. So all our guys finish in the top half of this field in the 3,000 meter.
Definitely. So moving on to the men's field events, we had the men's 60-meter hurdles. We had Trey Reynolds, who's new to us,
Yeah,
a freshman. He placed third overall out of 8 competitors in the finals with a time of 8 minutes, my goodness, 8.21 seconds.
He took his time on that one.
If he took 8 minutes, I think I would be out there.
Buddy, I might have run that one faster.
Trey,
But yes.
I apologize, 8.21 seconds, and he got third, so he got his medal with that great time. Moving on,
good save.
We had David Edmondson placing fourth with a time of 8.49 seconds.
Yeah. All right, the men's high jump finals. We got Dontavius Hill, very familiar name with us. He gets second overall out of 9 competitors. His jump was 2.13 meters. Also, TJ Funches, we heard about him before, a sophomore. He finishes right behind him in third out of 9 competitors with a 2-meter jump. Men's pole vault. I like the jumping things a lot. I like the throwing things and the jumping things, but for me, I feel like I would throw the pole vault thinking it was a...
You would be horrible at pole vault, let's be honest. You could do a lot of these things. Like, you'd probably be good at long jump. Pole vault, you would be trash.
Actually, I can't really jump all that well, so even though I play basketball.
So what could you do?
I don't know, just walk out there. And is there a walking event I could do? Like
No.
speed walking?
No.
When are they going to add speed walking to track and field?
Because that's not track and field.
But it's an Olympic sport.
That's great.
Why can't they include it in
Kyle,
track and field?
so is skateboarding, and it's not in track and field?
But
Not
that's-
every Olympic sport needs to be in track and field.
But it's done on a track.
That's great.
Anyway, okay, the pole vault, back to that. James Corson, the junior, he gets first overall, as we've already said, in out of 3 competitors there. His jump was 5.25 meters.
I'll finish out the men for us. We had men's long jump. We had David Edmondson place 7th out of 13 with a jump of 6.68 meters. Then for the throwing events, we had the men's shot put. We had Quentin Wynn, which we've discussed, that he placed first out of 11 competitors with a throw of 17.25 meters. Then we also had another freshman, Ethan Richter, place 5th with a throw of 15.94 meters.
Another new name for us to get to know. Be interesting to see if Quentin and Ethan are kind of going to be pushing each other a lot this season.
I'm excited to see them this season. Then finally for the men, we had the men's weight throw, which my Kyle has already talked about. Kyle Brown, Kyle Moisen placing first and second out of 12 competitors. Kyle Brown with a throw of 20.46 meters and Kyle Moisen with a throw of 18.83 meters.
I see you, Kyles. I see you. Well done. Well done. All right, let's talk about them ladies. We got the 300-meter dash to start us off. We've already mentioned her, Nia Benton-Andrews. The sophomore finishes 15th out of 31 runners with her time of 41.48 seconds. The women's 800-meter finals, Jennifer Dietrich, the senior, third out of 12 competitors with a time of 2 minutes, 16.7 seconds.
Moving on to the women's 1,000 meter, Presley Weems, which we did discuss earlier in the highlights. She got first out of 14 athletes with a time of 2 minutes, 46.0 seconds. And for the women's mile, Auburn had 2 competitors. We had Hallie Porterfield, who's a freshman, placed 4th out of 14 athletes with a time of 4 minutes, 59.2 seconds, coming in right under that 5-minute mark, which is really exciting for her. And then Hannah Thuss placing 7th in 5 minutes, 8.1 seconds.
And these are 2 names we got to know this season in cross country. As part of the ladies team over there. Did great things there. So excited to get to watch them now for their first season and indoor. You know, when you said the 5-minute mark is a good time, you know the closest I ever came to that?
7 minutes and 35 seconds?
No, 5:57. That was about as close as I
Well,
ever
you got under 6 minutes. And for a non-track and field athlete, I'll give you that's good.
I was trying out for track and field then.
But you also were a basketball player and a football player. Like, you weren't really...
Have you met Anthony Schwartz, the football player who blazed past?
No, what I'm saying
traditional.
is you weren't actually a track and field athlete. Anthony Schwartz has been track and field for years.
Yeah, I kind of wish he still was doing like both of those.
Me too. Don't break my heart. Keep going.
Okay. Now the women's 3,000 meter. Sarah Pacer, the sophomore, finished 7th out of 18 with a time of 10 minutes, 22.1 seconds. We got a lot of people in the 60-meter hurdles for the women. Nia Benton-Andrews, the sophomore, finishes 3rd out of 8 in the finals. Also, Elise Heddens, a new name for us, another freshman. A lot of freshmen to talk about. 6 out of 8 competitors in the finals, a 9.14 run for her. Didn't make it to the finals, but we need to mention her. Kiara Mccarroll, the senior, 9th out of 18 overall to start off in qualifiers. 9.16 was her run.
And if you've never watched hurdling, this is one of the most, like, the truest of athletic events. To me, if you can sprint, come out of the blocks, sprint, hurdle, not fall, like, that is the most coordinated anybody could ever attempt to be.
AKA Jessica cannot do.
I can't even walk without falling. Like, these people are true coordinated athletes,
Jessica,
and I am amazed.
Jessica has to, master the stairs before she can master running.
Honestly, since the time I fell down the stairs and broke my tailbone, I do not walk downstairs without holding onto the railing. I am terrified.
And let's not talk about how you traumatized our cat. So
we won't
you
discuss that.
Jumping and running just is not going to work.
It's not going to work out.
But hey, you were still a great long distance runner.
We're going to go with that. That's kind. So moving on to more field events. Women's high jump. We had Allison Tanner, who's a sophomore, placed 8th out of 16 with a jump of 1.65 meters. And then Kiara Mccarroll also jumped for the high jump, and she placed 12th with a jump of 1.55 meters. Women's pole vault. I was really excited to see we had 2 competitors. So Lexi Lineweber, I'm sure I pronounced that wrong.
Lion Weber? Leon Weber? I think Leon Weber. I think that's I remember her.
We're going to go with that.
Just so you know, I know a lot of you have been listening for a while. Part of the shtick of this show is not just a husband and wife bickering the entire time, but us mispronouncing names.
That we mispronounce everything.
We apologize in advance.
Because we're from the South.
Yes. We have to drag things out. Hey, y'all, all that kind of stuff. So
we don't know a lot of things.
Leon Weber is what we're going to go with.
So we're going to go with Lexi.
Okay.
She is a sophomore, so we remember her. She placed 5th out of 16 athletes with a vault of 3.7 meters. And then a new name to us, Rhiannon Held, a freshman, placed 6th with the same vault of 3.7 meters.
Now, again, let me go to my layman's term here. Same distance, or excuse me, same height that they jump from there, but one's in 5th and one's in 6th. Typically, that means is that one person did that in one less attempt. That's correct?
Correct.
That's how that works there. All right, let's move on to the women's high jump. And I'll round us out for the ladies here. We got Emani Jones, the senior, someone we've gotten to know for quite some time, finishes 10th out of 25. Her jump was 5.3 2.34 meters. Elise Heddens, who we just got to know a second ago, 19th out of 25, 5.13 meters. And Megan Loneman, I think is how we're gonna
go with that.
Megan Loneman, another freshman, tons of freshmen to talk about, 23rd out of 25, 4.95 meters. We also got the shot put. This is where I get excited because you know I like to throw things.
So you can finish it out.
I like to throw in things. And these are my ladies here. We got Jocelyn Budwig, the sophomore, 4th, just short of the podium out of 20 competitors. 16.02 meters was her throw. Mara Hewalt, the sophomore, 6th out of 20 with a 15.33 meter throw. And then Trendy Love, another freshman, 14th out of 20, 20.24 meter throw.
10.24 meter
Excuse
throw.
me, 10. Did I say 20?
Yes.
I was so excited to have a new name, a new freshman, a new thrower, that I just added 10 meters onto that.
That's a significant add.
Trendy's like, yeah, I'll go with the 20 over that.
Yeah.
And that means I win the entire event at that point.
Yeah.
I don't know if the top 3 were, and I would assume they didn't get to 20.
I'm thinking no.
Probably not. Women's weight throw, Maddie Malone, the junior, 3rd out of 15 with a 20.93 meter throw. And then Mara Hewalt, the sophomore, 6th out of 15, 18.64 meter throw. So a great start to indoor season.
Yeah.
Lots of golds, lots of silvers,
Lots of bronze.
a few PRs in the
Yes.
mix. So it's a great start.
And a lot of new faces. That's what I'm really excited about is that we've got new freshmen. We've got people coming out. You know, track and field is alive and kicking at Auburn.
But it's not the coup de grace, the thing that you love. We still got to get to outdoor season. But
We will.
This is like the taste.
This is the tease. This is the appetizer. I want to get to the steak. We getting there.
But we're going to have fun talking about indoor track and field this season.
So Auburn comes back January 21st and 22nd for the Carolina Challenge, which we are all familiar with too. It's in Columbia, South Carolina. So we will be back to discuss that next week.
It's like a rotation. We just don't get off it ever in indoor season.
It's all right. Well, War Eagle.
War Eagle. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode on the E2C Network. On your way out, I want to remind you to stop by e2cnetwork.com. It's your one-stop shop for all our content across our podcast, YouTube channel, and much more. To stay up to date with us, make sure you're following social media accounts such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. While our content here may always be Auburn sports heavy, if it's orange and blue, it's what we do. War Eagle.